Welcome to the Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancavano. Let's get you to the pulse on everything you need to know. And we're here on the street, actually. That's because we are at the most happening taco truck in Hoboken called Taste Bud Tacos, located at 400 Garden Street in the beautiful city of Hoboken, New Jersey, right next to Church Square Park here. I might go on the swings later, we'll see. But joining me today is one of the staff members that might look familiar to you, and that is Brianna Piguero. Come on, Brianna, she's shy, I guess. She doesn't want to come on camera.
How's it going?
How are you, Bri?
Pretty good, thanks for having me.
Of course. So if you remember, Bri was on the show before, you know, when she was over at Chocobowl, I believe.
Yeah.
During Leprechaun Day, if I'm not mistaken. How many people did you have you try to use the bathroom in there on Leprechaun Day?
Like probably 20.
Like 20, you know, but who's counting, right?
Right.
But this is a new endeavor for you.
Yep.
When did you come over to Taste Buds Tacos, and why did you come over here?
I came over just a couple months ago, start of the summer. They asked if I wanted to join their team, and I said absolutely. It's a bunch of, you know, Hoboken born and raised guys that I really vibe with, so I couldn't really ask for a better place to work at right now.
Right? Born and raised guys,
No.
like yours truly here.
Yeah,
too,
same.
And exactly. We were from like different areas of the city, but we get each other no matter what.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So Brianna, you know, you spoke about, you know, you came over here, and looking at the menu, it looks quite small.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you guys just keep it small because you guys do what's right, and that's it, correct?
Absolutely. Simple, small. The taste of the meat and the tacos, quesadillas will really blow you away. So all you really need is a little bit of seasoning.
That's it. That's what she says. Perfect. Now, you do have a connection to somebody who's way more famous than Peter B, which is fine, you know, I'll take that. And that is Rachel Ray.
Yeah.
I mean, would you still consider her, I guess first tell the audience how you know Rachel, and then will you still consider her a mentor of yours?
Right. So I met Rachel at the Wine and Food Festival in New York. She was doing a demo, and she's like one of my biggest inspirations when it comes to culinary. So I kind of just took my shot, I went up to the microphone and I said, you know, I've been watching you since 30-minute meals, and it's because of you that I'm standing here right now. And she just brought me on stage. I tasted her food. She was a wonderful woman, and then she invited me on her show.
Oh, that's awesome. And now, do you still reach out to her on any way you can for any type of advice?
No, yeah, absolutely. You know, I just reach out to her team if I ever need anything. They always respond to me. So I'm like, you know, when, you know, celebrities, they're a little too cool, but they actually have time for me.
There you go. I think that's awesome. All right, speaking of time, we're wasting time here. I'm starving. You know, we're going to actually bring you into the truck, and you're going to be making what today?
I'm going to make you a combo, 2 tacos and a quesadilla.
Awesome. All right, so we're gonna have Bri hop in there, and you're going to see her in there in a flash.
Hey, now we're back in the truck, and I'm making you this combo. 2 tacos and a quesadilla. What I'm gonna do is do 1 chicken taco and 1 carnitas taco, and I already have this carnitas quesadilla right here that's prepped out already. So really, I just let the tortillas get a nice little white coating, let it go away, toast it up like a good minute and a half. Nobody likes a floppy taco. Okay. The tortillas are all toasted and ready to go. I'm just gonna grab this. Here's the chicken. I wish you could smell this chicken. It's absolutely phenomenal. I'm not just saying that because I work here, but it's really delicious. And then the carnitas, which is pulled pork. I grew up Dominican, so we always had benin for every Christmas, every holiday. But I have to say that this benin is better than my mom's. She might be upset about it, but whatever. A little bit of cheese, onion, cilantro, every taco comes with, unless you ask otherwise. And then we usually top it off with our house sauces. We have a pineapple avocado sauce, some hot sauce, and sour cream. I'm not sure if you want any of this. Yeah, okay. So I'm just put a little bit of hot sauce, not too much. Go. And then a little bit of sour cream. Just put this on the side. Boom. Quesadilla. And that's your combo.
All right, so we're back outside here, and I'm nervous because Bree did such an amazing job without me in the truck that I think she's going to take my job. What do you think? Do you want to be the new host of the Pulse with Peter B?
No, but I'll be your co-host.
Ah, look at that. Boy, she has all the answers. You can tell that she's from Hoboken right now, let me tell you. All right, I feel like you've made this in record time. Is this what people can expect coming to Taste Buds?
Yeah, absolutely. Fast service. We don't like people waiting that long. I mean, people usually come around lunch. We get hit with a little bit of a line. So we want to get it out as fast as possible.
Oh.
You don't like hungry people.
Oh my God.
How are your taste buds?
Off the wall. That tortilla is so fresh. My God. The meat is not dry at all. It's so, I hate to say this on TV, moist, but you know, for all you people at home, you know, get your heads out of the gutters. Wow, that's good. Oh
Pretty
my God.
good, right?
All right, I'm gonna dig into the quesadilla now and the carnitas burrito. Oh, the carnitas taco, excuse me. Can you tell the audience where they can find, well, obviously we know where they can find you, 400 Garden Street, your hours here, where they can find you on social media, and obviously the winter's coming now, and Hoboken gets a little cold during the winter, so you do offer delivery service.
We do.
The camera's all yours. I'm just going to chat.
Okay. Well, you can find our hours right on tastebudtacos.com. If you have Instagram, you can find us at tastebuds_HOB. You can find out all of our hours there. We're open 6 days a week from 12 to 8. We're always here. If we're not here for any reason, maybe really bad weather, you can find that like on our Instagram story, or always just check the website to see what's going on.
Wow, what else do you need to know? Now let me ask you a question. If you're not here, let's say, and people still want to call up and put in a delivery order, can you fulfill those orders?
So if we're not here, the website is not up and running, and we usually let all of our customers know the day of or the day before if we're going to be closed, right on our Instagram story.
What? Just check your Instagram story. It's so easy. Okay, I just been into that carnitas taco. That is
phenomenal.
Bomb. Wow.
Told you, Mom.
But, and you would probably agree with this. I told you, Mom. I like that. Mom, she told you. You would probably agree with this. There's not a place in Hoboken where you can get something like this. You have your chain Mexican restaurants like Qdoba, Chipotle, and all that good stuff. Not even close.
No, this is more of authentic, like home style, like cooking. Like we just cook right with our hearts. Really, it sounds corny, but it's true.
No, but listen, when you cook with your hearts, you know, it's a key to people's hearts, in my opinion,
absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
I feel like I'm working for Hallmark. But anyway, it's 100% accurate. And let me ask you that question. That sauce that you put on top, that green sauce, what was that? I couldn't hear you.
That's our homemade pineapple avocado sauce.
Oh, I taste it, and I can actually taste little bits of pineapple in
Yes,
there.
yes.
So that's how you know it's homemade, folks. I mean,
Absolutely.
not any imitation stuff that you get at Restaurant Depot or something like that.
Right.
So, all right. Is there anything you want to say to the audience before we have to go to a quick commercial break here?
Thanks for tuning in. Peter's great. I've had a great time, and you can follow me on Instagram. It's BreeP07.
There you go. Yeah. You know what? Why don't you take us out to commercial break? Go ahead.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. Folks, don't forget to go on our Facebook and our Instagram pages by searching The Pulse with Peter B, and like and follow us on each of those platforms. We're constantly updating those pages with previews of each week's segments and cool stories. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our email address at thepulsewithpeterb@gmail.com.
Welcome back. I'm John Heides from Hudson County View, and I'm guest hosting on The Pulse. And I'm joined with Joshua Sotomayor-Einstein. Josh, nice to be back. How are you?
It's good to be here with a host that's a higher caliber than the usual Peter Biancamano.
All right, thanks. So with that, let's talk about Miles Square City, right, where we're sitting right now, of course. So let's talk about the city council races, the municipal elections, actually. Mayor Bala almost guaranteed to be running unopposed. The filing deadline's Monday at 4. Nobody submitted petitions to be certified. We know a bunch of people polled, including 3rd Ward Councilman Mike Russo through a proxy, but it seems pretty safe to say that there's not going to be a challenge, and this is going to be about the council races. What do you think about this is all shook out here?
Well, I do really wish that someone would take a stand against Bala. I think he's something of a paper tiger. I mean, if past his prologue, and yes, the elections last time was whoever has the most wins, and there was so many different people running, that his campaign strategy last go around was just to emphasize his progressive bona fides and not really try to unite the town or talk about the things that bring people together. And obviously, politicians and civic leaders, community leaders, those that might run against Mayor Bala are afraid that everyone will give him kudos just for being the mayor while COVID's going on. But I think the Hoboken electorate is sophisticated enough to see beyond that and to see that he's failed as a mayor. He's failed to bring people together. He's failed to help the town more than any other municipal leader is doing during at COVID times, right? Just by the fact of them being there. When it comes to the council races, I think you have an interesting situation where you have 3 community involved people that are running against Bala's slate that just want to have a voice against Mayor Bala's and his political camp's, agenda. So you got Cheryl Fallick, you got Sheila Brennan, and you got Paul Provenzano. Presenzano, sorry. Well, you butchered my name, so it's okay if I butcher other people's names. All very nice people, and I disagree with them, or at least some of them on probably 90% of issues. But the point there is not that we have people that we agree with all of the time. You don't get that anytime in life. But that we have more of a voice against Mayor Bala and his political camp riding roughshod over town. So that's the way I see it.
All right, well, look, it's going to be interesting. It looks like we're going to have at least 3 of the incumbents. We have Councilman Mike DeFusco and Councilwomen Tiffany Fisher and Jen Giattino, respectively, that have been pretty clear that they're going to be supporting the other team and looking to build that majority on the council. So we'll see what that looks like. I mean, there's 2 interesting dynamics about this. Well, actually 3. 1, you're not on the ballot this year. 2, there's early voting for the first time in New Jersey history. And 3, again, while there wasn't early voting in the past, I look back into the 80s, and I haven't seen a single time that an independent council candidate has won without having a mayoral challenger or a mayoral incumbent on the top of the ticket. Of course, just to repeat again, we don't know what early voting is going to do to that, but what do you think of that those 3 dynamics I just laid out?
So when it comes to not being on the ballot, last go around for at-large was a ton of fun. I was able to knock on doors, meet people, and write a lot of op-eds, which I've continued to do, and you know I love doing. I send you so many op-eds. Only a small fraction is he willing to print. But I mean, right now for me, I'm busy, volunteering on the gubernatorial campaign, trying to support Chitterelli and get rid of Murphy, one and done in 21, Phil Murphy. So I'd just also like to point out, we didn't talk about Bala's slate, and we saw an interesting thing happen there. We saw that it was Emily Jabor and 2 newbies. Do you remember their names?
Yeah, Dina Ajmani and Joe Quintero.
Yeah. And then after it became relatively common knowledge, at least for the 10% of town that pays attention to what's going on, that there was an organized slate running against them, what was it? It was Ajmani that dropped out due to family issues, which may be real, but is also the excuse that every politician or candidate says when they drop out, whether it's pressure or whether it is family
personal
issues.
matter, yeah.
Yeah. And then, what was it? Doyle stepped back in, right? So I think there, Mayor Bala realized that, having one solid anchor, one incumbent running with 2 newbies was not the strongest campaign strategy to elect his at-large candidates versus the 3 organized candidates against his slate.
Well, apparently Miss Ajmani is pursuing a new career opportunity, and maybe that weighed into the decision, maybe not. Maybe it's something in between that and what you just said, but realistically, we'll probably never know because the election's
Sure.
going to start. We're going to get the wheels turning, and then the average citizen's going to forget she was ever even a candidate. With that said, what do you think about the impact of early voting, as well as the fact that independent council candidates almost always have lost up to this point?
Well, so I'm 100% against early voting unless someone has a disability, is serving overseas, because I think the sanctity of the vote, means that we as Americans should go with the same opportunity to have the same information and be informed the same way as anybody else. And on that special sanctified voting day, cast our vote with all the information we have possible. The problem with early voting is that a scandal could break out. The candidate that you're supporting could say something you disagree with, and then you've already voted. So I'm totally against early voting, but nonetheless, it's here. And so I think it's going to be a really interesting dynamic. I think every campaign across the state of New Jersey is going to be, emphasizing to their people, you need to get out and vote. You need to do the early voting, because that's votes that they don't have to worry about. They don't have to worry about GOTV, get out the vote on election day. So I think every campaign generally loves it. I think it's antithetical to the spirit of American democracy and the sanctity of the vote itself. But it's here to stay.
All right. And do you think, despite recent history, I think a little beyond recent history of independent candidates having a tough time, you think this could make basically anybody a competitor?
Well, listen, while I disagree with of the three independents that are running together, in giving a voice to the opposition to Mayor Bala's administration, I'm not saying anything bad about the other two, but Cheryl Fallick has been the most involved in terms of community advocacy. Now, it's a lot of community advocacy that ideologically I don't agree with, but we're not talking about what Josh Einstein likes. We're talking about what can make a difference. So when you have an organized slate with people that span the ideological gambit, and some of them, or at least one of them, has been an active community leader and has been at city council meetings and has been very vocal, I think there's a shot.
All right. So look, we're going to have to hurry up, unfortunately. This is an interesting topic, but bottom line, so we heard on Monday, I don't know exactly when, I think it was Monday afternoon, but regardless, that the Board of Education will be implementing their own vaccine mandate for staff and students over the age of 12. So what do you think about this?
Well, so there's two things. One, the political in Hoboken. So Mayor Bala has supported this, just like he mandated that people have their vaccine passport at the spaghetti dinner. Yet when it came to his
don't forget the municipal mandate as well.
Exactly. Yet when it came to his fundraiser at the Beer Garden, which is one of my favorite places in the world, there's no requirement for a vaccine mandate. There's no requirement for a vaccine ID, so if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. What these people live by is double standards. When it makes them look good to the public image, then they're like, everyone has to do this. When it comes to their bottom line, their support, and their donors, they have a different story altogether. And let's be clear, though, the vaccine mandate in the schools has an opt-out requiring children that don't want to be vaccinated or whose parents don't want them to be vaccinated to get tested on a weekly basis. Now there, when you look at the polls, it's fascinating statewide because there was two polls that were recently done. And one poll shows that about 60% of New Jerseyans support a mask mandate, the mask mandate we have now statewide in the schools. But around the same number, or at least a majority of New Jerseyans were also against a hypothetical vaccine mandate in the schools. And it seems to me that people don't want to take a chance. They're willing to get the vaccine themselves as adults, but they don't want to take a chance on the experimental issue of the vaccine with their kids. So, I'm not a parent. I can't say one way or the other. I don't think we should be using coercion or force. I think everyone that's gotten vaccinated, everyone that hasn't gotten vaccinated knows they can get vaccinated. And it's a bit of an overreaction, but, as long as there's an opt-out, I think everything will be okay.
All right. Thanks, Josh. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back.
Peter Biancamano back with you. Don't forget to watch us on cable access every Sunday and Monday at 9 a.m. Optimum Channel 18, Files Channel 46, and Comcast Channel 190. Also on Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m., you can watch our show on our YouTube channel, and you can also binge watch all of our old shows. Who doesn't want to keep watching The Pulse with Peter B? We'll see you there.
Welcome back to the Pulse with Peter B. Peter Biancamano, back in the host chair and back at beautiful Maxwell Place Pier. And I want to thank John Highness from the Hudson County View for guest hosting the last segment. Always a professional, always a great website, and certainly a great journalist, unlike his guest, our political analyst every week, Josh, who is unprofessional and not a good journalist and just rambles on and on and on. But we have a professional, speaking of professional, we do have a new professional, I should say, joining us for the first time ever, a Pulse premiere, and that is my name. My name is Peter, but your name is Bobby Fraz, from @BobbyFraz on Instagram. Bobby, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me today. It's an honor.
All right. I mean, it's an honor for you to be here. It really,
It
really
is.
is.
It is.
So, Bobby, so people are wondering, okay, who is this Bobby guy? So, Bobby is probably the most popular pizza reviewer in the city of Hoboken, almost at Dave Portnoy level. You can go on his Instagram page. You can check out all his reviews. Again, I mentioned it at Bobby Fraz.
At Bobby Fraz.
Fraz. I'm going to get this correct, I swear to God. And you could check it out. Bobby, what made you start doing pizza reviews?
So this started in the pandemic. It was really just me and my wife hanging out, trying to entertain ourselves. And it started out with the Frozen Isle pizzas. And I just started doing some reviews in the kitchen for fun. And we sent it off to friends and family who thought it was hilarious and encouraged me to put it online. And then I put it online and more friends and colleagues caught on and thought it was a great idea. And then I started getting requests from them on frozen pizzas to do. And that grew into starting to do delivery in Hoboken. And when I started to do delivery, it really caught on because then I had every friend in town saying, oh, try this place. Oh, check this out. Oh, you got to do this place next. And then it got to the level where pizzerias actually started DMing me and thanking me for what they were doing. And then saying, hey, I got this specialty pie. Why don't you come back next week and try this? And then it started to snowball into all the pizzerias I started to do, which I was very thankful. I mean, I just did this as entertainment and for fun, and it really started to catch on and become something for the town to look forward to in a really tough time. So, the pandemic really kind of paved the way for something to start and something fun for me to do, but it also became something special because I really believe that it became something that supported small businesses in Hoboken and really started to get the pizza out there and get pizza known not only for Hoboken, but for anybody watching my Instagram account. So it became friends, family, colleagues, people from Jersey City, Hoboken. The pizzerias started reposting me. So that really started to get more followers because everybody who follows the pizzerias on Instagram started to follow my account. And that's really how it snowballed into what it is today.
That is so cool. So it became really a pandemic hobby in a way.
Correct.
And then it just, I guess, blossomed. It's almost like the Pulse of Peter B. We kind of started. Exactly. I like the camera. We kind of started from nothing, and now we're the highest rated show in North Jersey. I mean, so now you hit the nail on the head. I mean, businesses were struggling so mightily during the pandemic, as you know from watching the show. Hopefully you watch the show.
Of course.
We cover many different small businesses in Hoboken. We try to help them out as we're still in this pandemic. So, Bobby, obviously the most famous, you might be the most famous pizza reviewer in the city of Hoboken.
Thank you.
But the most famous pizza reviewer probably in the country right now is, of course, our friend Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports. Your grading scale is very, very similar to Dave's. Are you kind of a spin-off on Dave?
I get that a lot. And of course, he's the inspiration for this whole thing, right? I mean, everybody was tuning into that before the pandemic hit. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where he started doing frozen pizzas, in his own kitchen. So yeah, I mean, it started out as fun and doing it that way. And I will say my scale's the same, but what I get a lot is you're a really high reviewer, whereas Dave can go in and say, this pizza stinks.
Right.
And first of all, I always say it's really hard to make a bad pizza in this town. I think that's 100% true.
Exactly.
But second of all, I'm not here to bash people's pizzas. Right. I think pizza's delicious, so I personally love it anyway, so I'm going to review it high. But anyway, I do believe in supporting these pizzerias and trying to put their pizzas out there. And I really think my scale is supporting, what these guys are doing and the hard work they're pouring into their pizzas every day and every night, because they're small businesses. They're just trying to survive. So I want to support these guys. So yeah, the scale does mean something. I mean, there are excellent pizzas. There are good pizzas. There are great pizzas. I probably should revise the scale to just be good, great, excellent. But the numbers don't lie, and I believe that there are some great pizzas out there. So yeah, it is similar, but I will say mine's more of a local community support initiative. I believe that's what this blossomed into, like I just said. But Dave is obviously national, and I'm hyper local to Hoboken and Jersey City.
That's just fantastic. That really is. And I believe that you also review pizzas that have toppings, if I'm not mistaken.
That's another one. Yes.
I mean,
thank you for
Dave
reminding
just,
me. So,
Dave just does, of course, cheese pizzas. He
plain
calls it the
pizzas.
gold standard, all that nonsense.
Right.
But to me, a good pepperoni pizza could be a gold standard, right or
correct.
wrong.
Yeah,
So,
I totally believe in that. And yes, the standard is the cheese pizza. That's what you have to do right first, right? If you're going to open a pizzeria. So I understand that. But I like to highlight what people really do, and I believe the art of what a pizzeria does and their specialty pies really pops and stands out, and what makes them different from everyone else. So their specialty pies is what I like to do. Obviously, if you followed along, I love my spicy pizzas. So buffalo chicken's a popular one, or Diavolo, which is actually all this spicy Italian meats, which I love. But I like to do the specialty pizzas because I really believe that's where a lot of the art is, and see what their creations are.
That's fantastic. All right, we're going to put your back along the railing here, and thank God there's a railing, because you would have been in the Hudson River if not. And I need to ask you, you have tried, well, I guess my initial question is, how many pizzerias have you tried in Hoboken? Did you count?
Oh, man. I have to go back and actually count.
It's got to be over 30, 40, right?
I think it has to be, yes, absolutely. And I think I actually have done or almost completed the circuit. So I think there's only one or two out there
that you haven't done.
That I have not done.
And you stick to Hoboken only. You don't really focus on Jersey City or anything
So
like
I've
that?
started to gravitate toward Jersey City, just because I almost am out of places to do in Hoboken.
Oh, so you have to
And
now.
I've been taking it on the road, if you pay attention. So.
I did. I was down in Key West. Exactly.
Yes,
that place
exactly.
looked unbelievable, by the way, by the water there.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Never heard of
exactly.
lobster pizza, so that was absolutely amazing.
And I'm a lobster fan and a pizza fan. I mean, I can't just, right?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I'm going to like this guy. He's going to be back more and more. All right. Back against the railing here. What is your favorite pizzeria in Hoboken? If you don't have a favorite, you can give me, your top three or so on and so forth. They're all good. I get it, but I need to know your favorite.
Gonna get a lot of daggers thrown at me right now. It's very hard to choose. Very hard. I think they're all amazing in their different ways, but one really stands out to me, and I think it's their story that stood out to me a lot, and where I discovered them. I actually discovered them on the Hoboken's very own Pizza Crawl. So if you pay attention, Hoboken had a pizza crawl during the pandemic.
Pizza Fest.
Pizza
We've
Fest.
covered it.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So what was it? 10 or 15 pizzerias?
Yeah, about 10.
Yeah, about 10.
Yeah.
You have to jump around town to each one.
Correct.
You grab a small slice. So I reviewed each one on the go.
Our cameraman Greg's feet still have, sores on it from that day walking around
mine
town.
as well.
so.
Mine as well. But it was a fantastic day for pizza lovers. It's probably one of the best days. So,
Exactly.
But going back to my favorite, had to be Alessio's, and it was one of my last stops on the pizza crawl. And I thought it was excellent. It surprised me because I had so much pizza that day that it all started to blend together. But this pizza, I think I had their Diavolo slice, which obviously I'm partial to, but at the same time, it was something I haven't tried before, a pizzeria I haven't heard of. And when I had their slice, it was so good that when I posted it, they actually reached out to me and thanked me so much, and they asked me to come back and do another pizza review, which I obviously obliged. And when I did their pizza review, I found out that they actually tried to open during the pandemic in February.
Right.
Right as everything started to kick off, right before everything hit the fan. And they unfortunately had to close and pause and shut down. And I think that was really difficult for them to try and start up in Hoboken, which is a pizza town, and make their name known during a pandemic. So they took a pause and opened up again in July, the summer of the pandemic, and they really started to push themselves at that moment. And what I thought was really cool about them is everything's imported from Italy, including brick by brick, their pizza oven.
Yeah.
They brought every piece of that store over from Italy, which I thought was really incredible. And I will say it makes an absolutely incredible pie. And the one thing that makes them different from everyone else is they have a 30-inch pizza pie.
Yeah, Pizza Palla, right?
Yes.
We've covered them 3 times on the show.
They
So
are
Luca
excellent.
is a good friend of the show.
Yeah,
so he's
yeah.
good. All right, honorable mention for 2 other pizzerias.
All right, honorable
2.
mention for two. I really do love Apulia.
Okay, that's relatively new right here on
do
14th
yes,
Street.
Yes,
yeah,
I
yeah,
do love
yeah.
a Puglia. I think they do a really excellent
Never
pie.
tried it, but I have to. Yeah.
I think they have really creative pies, really creative ingredients. I love being inside. I think inside's awesome, but their delivery's good too. But I really do love their pizza. And the other one is, I think it's a hidden gem in Hoboken. I always call it this because it's in the back of Hoboken, over by the movie theater. San Giuseppe.
San Giuseppe.
Yes,
Yeah?
San Giuseppe has
Yeah?
a great pizza, and they have an amazing dish, which is their burrata chicken with vodka sauce. Also absolutely amazing. So
Gotcha.
the place is definitely one of my top favorites.
Bobby, give me your whole last name.
Frizzetto.
Frizzetto.
It's
So
Bobby
there you go.
Frizzetto.
Frizzetto. He's making me say fries and things like that, or fries, excuse me. Frizzetto. So, he's a paisan like me.
Oh, yes.
And, of course, he'll be reviewing pizza all over, and he certainly knows what he's talking about. Well, Bobby,
Yes.
next time you're on, which I hope there's a next time, I hope you had fun today.
I would love to come back.
I love that. You're going to bring maybe a pizza by here. Maybe we'll go to a pizzeria.
I thought about it.
You thought about it, right?
So next time we'll do it.
Exactly. Well, Bobby, thank you so much. Let's do it. Let's plan on it.
Let's do it. I
Your
plan on
people
it.
reach out to my people, and we'll be good to go.
Let's get
Which
it
is just
done.
me and him, by the way. We have no people. Yeah. Bobby, again, one more time for the audience, your Instagram name.
It is at Bobby Fraz.
At Bobby Fraz. There you
Yep.
go.
Yep.
All right, Bobby, thanks again. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Folks, join us next week for The Pulse on everything you need to know. I'm Peter Biancamano. Have a great week, everybody.
Hey, Josh Sotomayor Einstein here, just reminding all of our Republican viewers out there that on September 5th, 1 to 4 p.m. at the URL beneath us, you can buy a ticket to Hudson County's leading Republican fundraiser held by the Hispanic Republicans of North Jersey. Going to have Phil Rizzo, Denise Gonzalez, and Billy Prempe, all wonderful past and future candidates and current candidates for office in the state of New Jersey. So come on out on September 5th. Thanks so much.
The Pulse with Peter B. is a proud partner of Eyes on NJ.